Morning legends, today's experiment we're going to be fertilising the lawn with AdBlue. Why the hell would we do that? Because AdBlue contains urea, urea contains nitrogen, nitrogen makes stuff grow. This belongs in a truck, not on your lawn, and also do not buy it like this because this is the most expensive way you can buy it. It's just easy for me to show you what it is. Best way to buy it, you can go to the servo and get it from the pump, something like $2 a litre. If you go to a store and buy it like this, you'll pay something like $15 a litre. So don't do that. Anyway, there's a lot of maths involved here because I could only really find this on American channels. So we're going from pounds to litres to feet to meters, all that fun stuff. So I'll leave you with the ChatGPT animation while I go and mark out the lawn. Have fun with that. All right, let's unpack the exciting stuff. We're not to exceed 0.2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet of lawn. The reason for this is in the maths. This tells us how much nitrogen is in urea and how much urea is in AdBlue. The simple rule is going to be 21 ounces of AdBlue to 1 gallon of water, and in real measurements, for my 40 square meters, we want to add 240 ml to 8.76 litres of water. In easy terms, we're not to exceed 240 ml per my 9 litre watering can. We've marked out a 40 square metre zone. We have to be very strict with our application rate. What can happen? We get the right rate and the right coverage. We get a healthy green lawn, stronger growth, and encourages runners to spread. Too much or uneven coverage will essentially just burn the lawn. Our quick reference here contains one very important thing, and that's our do not exceed 240 ml of AdBlue. Best practice will be to avoid the hot parts of the day. Not too much problems here, it's actually winter. We'll wash the AdBlue off the leaves with a light watering. Last but not least, ChatGPT thought it might be important to tell me to be patient. Results in 3 to 10 days depending on conditions. We're going to leave ours for about a week and a half. So you're probably wondering if I'm worried my neighbours are going to think I'm some sort of weirdo for having pink lines all over my grass. To answer your question, I've been some sort of weirdo for months now because this is the markings for the new shed. All I've really done is drawn a line through the centre. So this side we're going to treat with urea, AdBlue. This side we're just going to water. See if we end up with a dead side and a good side, or any sort of difference. So you might have noticed in the maths breakdown that I'm only supposed to use and not exceed something like 240 or 260 mils of AdBlue per my 9 litre watering can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with one of these 80 ml syringes in the watering can. What that's going to do is give us a weak mixture, so if it absolutely torches the lawn, hopefully we can work our way up to a healthy dose of nitrogen, urea, AdBlue, rather than just destroy it in the first go. Whew. Doesn't smell as bad as I thought it would. $80 mils, right on the knocker. Doesn't seem like very much at all, does it? And yep. Ew. A bit going on in there. On the off chance it does turn out to be some sort of magical potion, I'm just going to try it on some of these dead areas where we had bulk weeds pinching the nutrients out of the soil. Grass hasn't really recovered there, so I mean, what's it gonna do? Die on me? I'm just gonna give it a light hose in just to get all that urea, all that AdBlue off the leaves and onto the ground so that it doesn't burn them on this sunny arvo. Here's a bird's eye view of the experiment side over in the far side of the lawn, and the control side a little bit closer to the house. We'll come back to this one in about a week and a half because I'm going away for work. We'll see if it's made any difference, and if it's done nothing, we'll double the dose, or we'll see if it's had a negative effect. On that note, if you can think of any wild or interesting experiments for me to post, I'd love to let my busy mind do that so you don't have to. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you got any ideas for some interesting stuff like this, and I'll see if I can make them happen for you. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's definitely something going on this side. All our grass is a lot taller than on this side. It's only been 2 days, so I'll mow it down and we'll leave it for a week, see what it looks like when I come back from work. Yeah, okay. So this is 10 days later. That's the fertilised side. That's the not fertilised side. I think we got a bit of a difference there. Main thing is we didn't burn the lawn with the nitrogen, so I guess we up the dosage now and see how it goes for another week. I should say as well, we probably haven't even really exceeded like the nitrogen dose of just like an off-the-shelf fertiliser. So yeah, I think it is time to pump the dose rate. All right, take 2. We're gonna give it a real dose this time. 1, 2 AdBlues, 3 AdBlues. All right, this is our do not exceed mix. Let's see if we can't burn the grass this time. Quick little water in. I mean, it changed colour and it's not brown. If anything, it's more yellow on the side that didn't get the treatment. Extremely green up that side. I guess we're safe to give it a mow. And then another dose. It's been 2 weeks today since I started applying AdBlue to my lawn in place of a nitrogen fertiliser. The results have been interesting. Just going to do a final dose now before I head away to work for another week. Not going to up the dosage or anything, I'm just going to apply it again at our do not exceed rate of 240 ml inside my 9 litre watering can. Problem is, when I go away, I don't know what I'm going to come back to, because the demolition of this shed we're standing in right now is going to start, and there's only 2 things I know about that. Is that they'll be using an excavator and they'll be accessing through the side over there. So they may trample our little test ground to death. So this is the shed they're going to be removing. They're going to pull up the slab and all that kind of thing. That's actually right where our pool's going to go. We're kind of standing in the patio here, so that's going to be a patio off the back of our massive shed that we already had marked out. They're obviously going to get rid of this really good clothesline that our tenants damaged. They're going to use that little alleyway over there for access, and they're going to be bringing the excavator backwards and forwards across here. So I don't know what's going to be left when I get back, but we'll make this final application anyway, and just hope it's still here in a week. I don't know if you can really tell on camera, but I think it's pretty obviously a darker green on the treated side as opposed to the other side. Nothing's really gone yellow or died or anything. And this grass tends to sprout up after a mow a lot quicker. So I'll see if I can find a little spot. We can see that was mowed yesterday or the day before. And if we come across to the side that's got the urea on it, the AdBlue on it, you can see we get these little sticky uppy bits a lot quicker. So I think it's definitely a lot healthier on this side of the fence as opposed to the side that's had nothing. So that's interesting. So I just got back from a week at work. I think we found the lethal dose of AdBlue on your lawn. Yep, it's trash. Looks like this experiment's over. At least it makes a good mountain bike track now. Well, look, it did work. I'm going to use the rest of that bottle on the lawn, I think. What do you reckon, Poppy? I wouldn't lay there. Look out. Poppy, move! It's a terrible place to lay. Here's what's left of the experiment side. Look at that cooch. That's going mental. Look, although we didn't actually find out the exact lethal dose of AdBlue on your lawn, there's one thing we can be sure of, and that's that it only takes one excavator to ruin your lawn. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a short to see how much AdBlue it actually takes to ruin your lawn.